1, 2, 3. Hello everyone, welcome to Edmonton-Blender-Artists number 6. It's September 6th, 2025. What is Blender? Blender is a free and open source 3D animation modeling software. It has many uses and many capabilities. It's good for 3D modeling and animating, 2D modeling and animating, video editing, image editing, storyboarding, game models and worlds, and so much more. I am Chris. I am a visual music artist and producer who lives in Edmonton. I'm hearing impaired. I use headphones and stuff, so I'm pretty good, but just a disclaimer for anyone who might have an accent or low volume. If you need me to hear something, just speak up when you're talking. I'm the creator of this meetup, Edmonton-Blender-Artists, and I will manage and guide this group. And I will be trying to host this at least once a month for like 1 or 2 hours. And why are we here? To meet people in Edmonton and Alberta, Canada, and even beyond, but it's mostly focused in the Edmonton area and Alberta area and Canada. And we are here to share our passion with each other and show and tell like what we're doing with Blender, whether it be just because you love it and you're passionate about it, or because you're doing it for, business, or you're making a living doing stuff with Blender or similar stuff to Blender. And we're here to teach each other what we know, from the basics to the most advanced for experts and everything in between. And I want to make this meetup as comfortable and as for everyone of every level of expertise with Blender. And hopefully it'll be fun and entertaining for people and educational, but also it'll be a hub for Alberta and Canada for like companies and business to find people who are talented and have the skills to provide them with what they need when it comes to 3D modeling for a variety of reasons. And down the road, as this meetup progresses, I want to try to create projects as we go. And over time, hopefully, we can collaborate on things like short films or animations or music videos and stuff like that, and kind of like put that on the YouTube and website and stuff like that for people to see the kind of talent that is collected in this collective. The meetup plan, I'm open to any suggestions on what to do during these meetups. You're more than welcome to run portions of the meetup, and it's all about just communication. Through meetup.com, you can private message me or message the group and give me your thoughts or your advice or whatever you want. If you want to do, or you got a plan, you got an idea, you want to share something, you're more than welcome to. It's a free and open forum, and I encourage participation. The meetup structure for now is about 0 to 10 minutes. I'm going to do what I'm doing. I'm just going to do this presentation, and it's repetitive, but it's kind of just laying out the groundwork for what is going on here. Wait and see who shows up. And then from 10 minutes to half an hour, if there are any newbies here who are new to Blender, I'm going to go through just the basic features of Blender right from when you open the program and how to download it and all that. And then from half hour to 1 hour, anyone that's here, we can talk openly and freely about what we're doing, what we're passionate about, what we want to know, what we want to teach, whatever. And then an hour beyond that, I'm going to work on the current project, which at the moment is Old MacDonald. During all this time, anytime, speak up. You can write in the comments, and you can use your mic if you have the chat link here. And you can, you're welcome to say anything anytime. Content. These streams are live on YouTube and left there for future reference. If anyone wants to just reference them or look back, they're there. And if you want the chat link, I can provide that. I made a Telegram group chat, and you can go in there, and again, anyone can join it. I'll provide the link, and it's just there to have people there to help at their own free will if they want, for anyone that has questions involving Blender, and I'll keep it strictly under that subject matter. And if you're struggling and you need someone directly to give some advice, or you just want to talk about anything regarding Blender, you can talk in there. And then meetup.com is where I'm organizing these meetups. And there's the meetup group, and then there's the events that take place, like this one right now. I am thinking about making a website down the road for the people who want to be on it. Like I said, I want this meetup to be about teaching each other and sharing our passions together and growing together, and creating kind of a hub for talent seekers to find talent when it comes to stuff they need for whatever, 3D animation or video games or graphic design or whatever. There's always people looking for talented artists in that regard. I think having a website that could provide like just basic things like portfolio and contact details would be good to have for Edmonton, Alberta, and Canada. And right now it's a pretty quiet day here. I guess it's back to school and the end of the summer, and not much is going on. And if no one shows up, I'm just gonna start with the project. And the project is Old MacDonald right now. And Old MacDonald had a farm. Yes, he did. And so right now, for Old MacDonald, and I'd like to get further to explore different aspects of Blender and more realism. But for this first project for the Edmonton-Blender-Artists, I'm trying to stick to kind of cute and just cartoony kind of scene and project to illustrate and go along with all like the different functions of Blender and how it works and all that. And maybe down the road, like as we grow as a community, we can explore even more, like maybe like more realistic and hyper realistic type projects. But for now, this is Old MacDonald, and it's a cute little farm. And over the last 5 live streams and meetups, I've been working on this project loosely with people, getting suggestions and stuff, and this is where we're at. We got a pig and a pig pen, and he's got some mud and some dirt and some troughs, some food and some water. And yeah, where do we go from here? I would almost think at this point, I would say so. In the right here, you have your outliner. It's called, and it's basically like if you've ever used Photoshop or whatever. It's like layers or a place to organize all your assets and your layers and your objects in the Blender project. And right now I have Little Piggy in a group, so I can hide or show the pig, and the pig is made up of multiple meshes. If you see when I open up the Little Piggy, you got the curve for the tail, and I could probably rename that, and if you double click on that you can rename it tail. And then I got the body. We got this cylinder, which is the legs, and the legs, and you can see the legs are mirrored multiple times to make 4, but it's only just 1, and we'll call that legs. Oops, spelled it wrong. Legs. That typing right now. And I think everything else is good. Yeah. Okay. Ears. Yeah. So I feel like Little Piggy, he's a bit alone in his pig trough. And for now, I'm going to right click on the folder Little Piggy, and I'm going to duplicate the collection. And now I have Little Piggy.001, and we're going to call this Little Piggy friend, maybe. And then right now, if you look over here, it's because it's duplicated, it's the exact same position as the main Little Piggy. So we're going to right click on the Little Piggy collection. Why is that not working right now? And for some reason, my computer is being really weird right now. That's super weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Try this. Right click. What is going on? Oh no. My mouse is being super weird right now. I think I had to charge it. Okay, what happened here? What's going on? Okay, let's try this again. So, Little Piggy friend, for some reason there's like multiple now, but we'll undo that. Undo that, undo that. Okay, we're going to do something here. We're going to open this again, back to where I started. Okay. Open this again. And let's try this again. So we got Little Piggy, and we're going to right click on here. We're going to duplicate collection, and we're going to call it Little Piggy friend. And you can see they're completely on top of each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click on the collection, and we're going to select objects. And now you can see it selects all the objects within the folder. And I'm going to press G for grab, and I'm going to press Y for the Y axis, And now I can move the duplicate piggy over. And because they're pigs in a pen, they're probably not going to be exactly mirrored and doing the exact same thing in this pen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press R for rotate and then Z for the Z axis. And then I'm going to just rotate him or her or whatever you want to call her this way. And then if I press 7, it's going to give me a perfect overview. And when you're moving and manipulating things in Blender, you want to be careful of this. So like if you're moving something like on a weird angle like this and you press G to grab and you do this, it's going to move on like multiple different geometric angles. So when you use things, I'm going to command and Z to undo this. When you do things with like 1 will give you a perfect view of the side, 3 will give you a perfect view of the other side, and then 7 gives you a perfect view of above. So when you do a perfect view, it's mathematically perfect. And when you do things like R to rotate, it's only going to rotate in that dimension. And when you grab it, it's only going to move in that dimension. So it's not going to go under the ground or over the ground. It's going to move perfectly in that area. So you always want to be careful of that. So now we got 2 pigs in the pig trough. And I think, honestly, it's a pig trough and it's Old McDonald's farm. And I feel like he has a couple more pigs in that. So I'll go over to the outliner again and I'll click on friend and little piggy friend, and I'm gonna right click on that and duplicate collection again. And now we got little piggy friend dot 0.001, and it does this for all duplications. It'll go 0.001, 0.002, and so on. And then right click on that again, select objects and press 7, and I'm going to grab it with a G and I'm going to move it over here, and I'll press R to rotate it and put it over here like that. And then I will do that again. And so right now it's all selected within the folder of little piggy friend 0.001. If I was to do Shift D, you would duplicate it again, but you're going to notice that that duplication was all the objects within the folder, and now it's made extra objects for each object within that folder. And when you're working on a project, your project's going to get bigger and bigger depending how big your project's going to be, how much stuff is in it. With your outliner, you want to be OCD organized within it. You want to always be conscious, because if you just keep going, you're going to get so unbelievably unorganized that it's just going to become a mess. And maybe that's all right. Maybe you have a specific goal you're getting to the end of, and that's all you need is just to get there. And once you're there, it's fine. But if you're planning on doing multiple things, multiple camera angles, multiple movements, multiple animations, you're going to want to be really organized in your outliner. So I'm going to undo that. And I'm going to click on little piggy friend 001. I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to select the objects, and I'm going to grab it with a G, and I'm going to rotate it. And this one, I'm actually going to make him kind of like going into the water. And now I'm going to press 1. And yeah, he's like a little too much on the trough there. So I'm going to press 7 again. Grab it like this, 1. And yeah, he's just, he's getting ready to drink some water there. And now we have a farm full of piggies. And on a farm, you're going to have multiple pens full of different kind of animals, generally speaking. So we can definitely replicate that, but right now I'm looking at this, and the last time we were here, we were talking about grass, and I clicked on the plane here, and you can see like there's really long grass hairs, and that's the plane here. And if you go down to the particle properties, you can see I created a particle system here, which creates the really bad looking grass. And you can, with particle systems, you can make cartoonish grass, you can make very realistic hair or very realistic looking grass. And to get the preview, when you go up here and pick your engine, instead of EVs, you got to pick cycles for enable for us to be able to see it right here. But back to the particle system, I want to shrink the length of the grass. I want to go to maybe make it like 0.2, and then I made can't even remember where it was. Oh yeah, interrelated. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Seeds like randomize it. Depending on your viewport settings, your render settings. Oh yeah, so depending on your children display amount and render amount, you can see I have 10 here, and that's just, you gotta, when you're using Blender, you gotta be really careful to make sure you save it or have auto save on when you're working through it, because often it'll crash. But when you're using it, you don't want to often, especially with like particle emitters, your display amount is dramatically less than your render amount, because it'll crash your computer if you, depending on your resources, because it takes a lot of resources to produce hair. And for now, I'm gonna just, as an example, show you this right now, which is just like these random strains of grass here and around there. And if I go to render it as an image, you're gonna notice once it starts to appear that there will be a lot more grass, because my display amount was 10 and my render amount was 500. And yeah, it might take a bit of time to render there. I don't know why it's taking this long. Oh, try something different. And as I'm speaking about crashing Blender, I think I might have crashed Blender. Sorry guys, I just crashed Blender there. Good thing I saved just before I try to do that. Let's try this again. Okay. We'll back off from that idea, I think, for now. Wait, let me try one more time. Let's try this. Render image. Why was it being like that? No. Okay. Having a bit of technical difficulties here. Strange. Like I said, like grass and particle emitters are like really, they take a lot of resources on your computer. And if you don't properly have the display and the render properties all set up, it will cause you a fair amount of problems. I have been able to successfully do pretty good graphs on this computer, but at the moment I appear to not have it set up properly. And I'm not prepared to go down that rabbit hole. I just thought it'd be fun at the moment there, but we'll go on to other things right now. Like I said, like that last live stream I was doing, I was just quickly fooling around with it, and I didn't quite set up properly. So when you have in your particle properties, have a particle system set up, you can very easily just delete that by pressing the minus sign. And I'm going to do that for now. And just stick with a basic plain green for a grass color. And we will work on the more advanced grass another time. But one thing I'm torn right now, because you have to have a background and you have to have a barn for a farm. For Old McDonald's Farm has to have a barn. I don't think I'm going to get quite into the barn today. No one has showed up. This is still a new meetup group for Edmonton-Blender-Artists. We've had some good show turnouts before, but no one has made it today. So I'm just going to finish up here with showing how to make a background. And there's many ways to make a background and a world, and you can see as I spin around it, there's just a big empty world. Depending on where your cameras are going to set up, you don't need to make an infinitely large, realistic, big background world. Often you're just going to make almost like what you'd see in a theater or a movie. When they're filming, is they would have like a portion of the background to represent that, and that's what I would do for this. And right now I have the camera set up by pressing 0. You can see that I have the camera set up like this. I don't think I want that actually, so I'm going to go up to my outline. I'm going to select the camera and I'm going to press G. I'm going to move it up a bit more high, and then I'm going to go G and X to move it on the X axis and back it up real good. G, X, G, X. I'm going to grab it and press Z to bring it down. And we'll say that's for now is the camera 1 here where I look at. So I'm looking at that, and it's right down the X axis. As you can see, the X axis is represented by a red line, and the Y axis is a yellow green line. And I'm going to back it off here. And to make a good background, I'm going to Shift A, and I'm going to make a plane. And the plane right now is great at the center here, between the X and the Y axis, right in the direct center. I'm going to press a G and an X for the X axis, and I'm going to write 90. Oh, G, X, then 90. What's going on here? S for scale, we'll try that. And then, GX. GX. I'm sorry, I'm confusing myself here. So, R for rotate, and then X, and then 90 for 90 degrees, 90. We'll turn it that way. And then I'm going to rotate it Z, R, and then Z, another 90 to make it like that. Now I'm going to go G and then X and move it back. And then I'm going to press 0 again for my camera angle. And then you can see that it disappears in my camera angle. So I'm going to go to the outline and click on camera. And the reason it disappears is because by default, the camera only sees a certain distance. And if you can see in your, after selecting camera in the outliner and going down to the properties, you can see the camera object data properties, which is the camera, because it's selected. You go to clip start, which means if you zoom in really close, it'll show you how detailed it gets no matter how close you zoom in. And then the end, we're as far away as you're zoomed out. So if I add, I'd say like another 0 to this, it should show up, and it does. So 1,000 meters shows up there. Now I can see 1,000 meters in distance with the camera. And in camera view, I'm going to click on the plane, and I'm going to scale it with an S, and then a Y to scale on the Y axis. And I'm going to stretch it like this. And then I'm going to scale it on the Z axis to make it higher, to cover the whole camera angle. And then I'm going to grab it and Z to lift a little bit. And now you can see the entire background is covered. And you can do a lot with that. But for now, I'm going to give an example of how to make a quick background, which would be to go on to Google, and I'm going to search a cloudy cartoon sky. And then I'm going to go to images, and I'm going to look at one, and I'm going to be like, which one looks nice? I feel like almost, that was a little too. Actually, you know what? Like this one is it's pretty basic, but I think that's what we're looking for. And I'll save this image. Save the image as. And I'm going to just like the outliner and any Blender project, you're going to want to organize your folders with all your exterior data too. And as you can see, I have my old McDonald folder, and within that folder I have images. I'm going to save the sky to that image, and I'm going to go back to Blender with my plane selected. I'm going to go to shading. Sorry. I'll go to material properties first, and I'll add a new material by clicking new. And then I'm going to go to I'm going to call it background sky. And then I'm going to go to the shading window, And I'm going to look at my background here. And then Blender's really cool with like dragging and dropping stuff. So I'm going to go into my images on my actual computer outside of Blender, and I'm going to find the image, and then apparently it didn't save like a JPEG. Okay, so that's actually a video. So I don't think Blender, so when I saved it off Google, it was a WEP file, but I don't think Blender actually supports that. We'll try it though. Let's see if it supports it. So I drag the file into this area here, which is the shader node area, and I'm going to take the color and I'm going to put it in the base color. And it worked. Oh, that surprised me. That's amazing. Okay, so even WEBP files work on Blender, which I did not know. So that's perfect. That looks just fine, just like that. Then we go to layout again. Now you got a bit of a background for your farm. And if you really want, you can move things around here, put some clouds in there. You can scale it down a bit. And based on the way your camera is going to be, you can see these edges here is the camera's view. So everything works. And if I render, go up to render and render image, you're going to see you got a lonely pig pen on a long, large grass field on the plains of Saskatchewan. And we'll leave it there for this week. Unfortunately, this is a short one, and hopefully we'll, as time goes on, get more people involved in this. And I hope anyone that watches this on YouTube and stuff enjoyed it a bit. It's a little basic growth and understanding of Blender. Have a good day. Bye, guys.